The rain hammered against the window of the small janitorial closet like fists pounding on Marcus's chest, each drop echoing the sobs he could no longer contain. At 28, with skin the color of rich earth and eyes that once sparkled with dreams of the sky, Marcus crumpled to the floor amid brooms and cleaning supplies. The photo, in his trembling hands, creased and faded, showed him in his Air Force uniform, arm around his little sister, both grinning under a helicopter's rotors. She was gone now, lost in a senseless car accident 2 years ago, the same night he'd been grounded from flying after a PTSD diagnosis shattered his career. Why her? Why not me? He whispered to the empty room, tears blurring the image. The grief clawed at him, a raw, unrelenting beast, reminding him that he was nothing now. A shadow mopping floors in a gleaming corporate tower, hiding from the world that had betrayed him. In that moment, the weight of isolation crushed him, and he wondered if he'd ever feel whole again. Marcus wiped his face with the sleeve of his worn janitor's uniform, stuffing the photo back into his pocket, as if burying the pain anew. Denial had become his armor, a brittle shield forged in the fires of loss. Every night after his shift at Apex Innovations, a sprawling tech empire led by the enigmatic CEO, Elijah Grant, he'd trudge home to his cramped apartment, convincing himself that this life was enough. I'm fine, he'd mutter to his reflection in the mirror, ignoring the hollow eyes staring back. But the pain lurked beneath, a constant ache that flared like an old wound in the rain. That evening, as he pushed his mop across the executive floor, the building hummed with after-hours energy. Elijah's office loomed at the end of the hall, its glass walls revealing the CEO in a heated phone call, his sharp features twisted in frustration. Marcus had seen him before, tall, commanding, with a laugh that could fill a room, but eyes that hinted at his own hidden scars. Rumors swirled about Elijah, a self-made billionaire who'd lost his parents young, building his empire on sheer will. But to Marcus, he was just another suit, distant and untouchable. As Marcus emptied a trash bin, a crumpled note fluttered out. Curiosity piqued, he smoothed it. Fly or die trying E.G. Odd, but he pocketed it, a small distraction from the storm inside. Denial whispered that he didn't need reminders of flight. He'd left that behind after the military crash that killed his best friend and triggered his PTSD. The accident wasn't his fault, a mechanical failure, but the guilt clung like smoke. His sister's death months later, while he was still reeling, had sealed his retreat. No more risks, he'd vowed. Flying was a ghost, and he was content. Or so he told himself, scrubbing away others' messes. The next day brought an unexpected encounter. In the lobby, a young boy no more than 10, with wide eyes and a backpack slung low, sat alone, kicking his feet against the marble floor. His mother, a harried employee, had left him there briefly. Marcus, on his break, noticed the child's drawing, a crude helicopter soaring over mountains. "That's a Black Hawk," Marcus said softly, kneeling down. The boy looked up, surprised. "You know helicopters?" Marcus nodded, a pang twisting his gut. "Used to fly him." The words slipped out, cracking his denial. The boy, Jamal, beamed. "My dad was a pilot too. He died in Afghanistan. Mom says I gotta be strong, but I miss him." His voice cracked, and Marcus felt a mirror shatter inside. "I miss someone too," he admitted, voice thick. They talked, Jamal sharing stories of his father's bravery, Marcus offering gentle nods, his internal dialogue raging. Asterisk, don't go there. It's over, you're not that man anymore. Asterisk, but Jamal's innocence sparked a warmth, a tiny victory against the isolation. "You should fly again," the boy said earnestly. "Dad always said the sky heals everything." Marcus forced a smile, but the words lingered, needling his denial. Pain surged that night as Marcus lay awake, memories flooding in. The crash replayed, rotors whining, alarms blaring, his friend's final scream. Then his sister's call, her voice cheerful before the fatal drive. Why did I survive? He thought, fists clenched. Betrayal stung deepest. from the military that discharged him, from life that stole his family. He wandered the streets, ending up at a park bench where an elderly stranger, Miss Clara, sat feeding pigeons. She noticed his slumped shoulders. "Child, you look like you're carrying the world," she said, her voice like warm honey. They talked haltingly. Miss Clara, a retired nurse, shared her own loss, a son to cancer. "Denial kept me alive at first," she confessed, "but pain, that's the teacher. Let it in, or it'll eat you whole." Marcus resisted, internal walls crumbling. Asterisk, she's wrong. "I can't face it." Asterisk, but her story of rebuilding, volunteering, finding purpose, planted a seed, a small victory. He didn't run away. As dawn broke, pain ebbed slightly, replaced by a fragile curiosity. Maybe healing wasn't impossible. Yet denial fought back. At work, overhearing executives boast about a company retreat involving Elijah's private helicopter, Marcus felt a pull. "Idiots," he muttered, but envy gnawed. The pain of his past failures, failing to save his friend, failing to be there for his sister, intensified. He cleaned Elijah's office that evening, spotting a model helicopter on the desk. Touching it, memories surged, the thrill of takeoff, the freedom. "No," he whispered, shoving it away. But the encounter with Jamal and Miss Clara echoed, chipping at his armor. Reflection crept in unbidden. Asterisk, what if I hadn't quit? What if I faced the fear? Asterisk, the chapter of denial was fraying, pain demanding acknowledgement, setting the stage for deeper wounds to surface. With denial cracking like thin ice, Marcus entered a phase of raw reflection, where pain transformed into a mirror he could no longer avoid. Mornings blurred into nights as he replayed his life. The janitor's mop, a metronome for his thoughts. "I was meant for more," he admitted in quiet moments, the admission a small victory amid the ache. His sister's laughter haunted him, a reminder of joy lost, but also of love enduring. Trauma from the crash, nightmares of falling still gripped him, but interactions began weaving a tapestry of healing. One afternoon, Jamal returned to the lobby, this time with a toy helicopter. "For you," he said shyly. "To remember the sky." Marcus accepted it, heart swelling. Their chats became routine. Jamal's childlike wisdom sparked realizations. "Dad said bravery isn't no fear, it's flying anyway," the boy shared during one session. Marcus's internal dialogue shifted. Asterisk, he's right. "I've been grounded by guilt, not gravity." Asterisk, warmth bloomed, a mentor in miniature guiding him toward reflection. Pain lingered, but Jamal's trust reminded Marcus of his own strength, a victory in vulnerability. Miss Clara became a fixture too, meeting him at the park. "Reflection ain't pretty," she warned, sharing tea from a thermos, "but it's where growth hides." She recounted her journey, betrayal by a body that failed her son, loss that nearly broke her. "I found peace in helping others," she said. Marcus opened up about the crash, the discharge, his sister's accident. "I failed them all," he confessed, tears flowing. Her hand on his shoulder brought comfort. "Failure's just a detour, son. Reflect on what it taught you: compassion, resilience." The slow pacing of their talks allowed healing moments, a shared laugh, a silent nod. Internally, Marcus wrestled. Asterisk, can I forgive myself? Asterisk, small victories accumulated, sleeping without nightmares, smiling genuinely. The turning point arrived unexpectedly. Apex's rooftop helipad hosted Elijah's chopper, gleaming under the sun. Marcus, mopping nearby, overheard Elijah joking with colleagues. Frustrated by a delayed pilot, Elijah laughed bitterly. "Anyone here fly this thing? Do it, and I'll marry you, ha!" His eyes, shadowed by his own losses, a divorce, isolation atop his empire, met Marcus's. The challenge hung in the air, half jest, half desperation. Marcus froze, reflection surging. Pain from his past clashed with the present. Asterisk, deny it or face it? Asterisk, I can fly it, he said quietly. Elijah laughed harder. "You, the janitor," but Marcus's steady gaze silenced him. With trembling hands, Marcus revealed his secret. His Air Force wings, hidden in his locker, proof of tours in Afghanistan, expert piloting skills buried under trauma. I quit after a crash, he admitted, voice breaking, lost my friend, then my sister, thought I was done. Elijah, stunned, listened as Marcus boarded the chopper. Rotors whirred to life, Marcus's hands steady despite the internal storm. As they lifted off, Elijah beside him, why, died. The city sprawled below. You're incredible, Elijah murmured, his laugh now genuine. In the air, they shared stories. Elijah's orphaned youth, his fear of connection. I've been denying my own pain, Elijah confessed. Marcus reflected aloud, me too. But up here, it feels smaller. The flight was a metaphor, healing in motion, pain yielding to growth. Landing, Elijah's admiration deepened into love, not just romantic stirrings, but a profound bond. Your strength. It's stunning, he said, eyes soft. Marcus felt renewal, self-acceptance washing over him like wind. Interactions with Jamal and Miss Clara had prepared him. This victory sealed it. No longer defined by loss, he embraced his past, offering to pilot for Apex part-time. In the quiet aftermath, Marcus stood on the rooftop, toy helicopter in hand. Emotional peace settled, a warm glow replacing the void. He'd transformed through denial's shatter, pain's forge, reflection's light, into a man renewed. I'm whole, he whispered to the sky, ready for whatever came next. Moral of the story: healing from deep emotional wounds requires courage to confront denial and pain, but through reflection and connections with others, we discover our inner strength, leading to self-acceptance and the renewal of our true selves. True growth comes not from avoiding the storms of life, but from learning to fly through them.